Hello and welcome to Social Media Weekly, episode 8th April 2020. Social Media Weekly is brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses go digital. My name is Sean, at home again without JK for the nth week. I'm getting bored, but what needs to be done, and if I have to do it alone, I have to do it alone. I'm looking rather dashing today because I just came out from a 4-hour course with client on digital marketing. So I thought I would stay this look before I change back into something more comfortable. Do SMW with you guys. So headlines for this week. Facebook Messenger comes into Windows and Mac. WhatsApp tightens forwarding limit. Zoom not allowed among Taiwan government. We all should stay away from Zoom too. Google donated $6.5 million to help fight misinformation. Social media's location tracking capabilities may be a problem. Back to the stories. Facebook Messenger comes to Windows and Mac. The company announced Messenger apps for desktop systems last year and just managed to roll them out last week. It comes at the right time when the world is getting locked down and in need of messaging apps with video capabilities. At the moment though, Messenger can only handle up to 8 people in a call. This could have been adequate last year, but now we all need more because there is a spot that Zoom is filling that needs to also be filled by someone else. And it's not just brands who only give us 6 months free like Teams and Cisco. We need one that can always give us something free like Messenger and Zoom. Zoom's 40-minute for this group of people, this larger chunk of people, is actually something that we want. But Zoom also is quite problematic, which we will talk about later on. So, unlike webinar apps like Zoom, Messenger video isn't meant for high volume connection. It's more private for close friends. Probably best if it stays like that, but we don't know if Facebook will cave into the market trends and become another conferencing tool by adding capacity. Or they might come up with another app that works for bigger groups that compete directly with Zoom. We don't know that. WhatsApp tightens forwarding limit. The company today said that any messages that has been forwarded 5 or more times will face a new limit that will prevent a user from forwarding it to more than one contact at a time, which means that they have 2 tiers now, right? The first tier is that once this content has been forwarded 5 or more times, it has been flagged. Once it is flagged, it is now harder to forward it. So you can only forward it one contact at a time. So it doesn't automatically remove it immediately, but what it does is it reduces the ability to spread. So it slows it down, kind of like social distancing for text. Because of its end-to-end encryption technology, chats cannot be tracked by authorities and become a haven for spreading information. I mean, we've been on MCO for almost 4 weeks now, and so many misinformation is going around, especially in the beginning. But now we know where to look for good information, and we only share the ones that matter. So we kind of learn. But other parts of the world is going through the beginning steps of it, and they are going through the same problem that we went through. We just hope that companies like WhatsApp, right, could have at least acted sooner, because we went through this. The Far Eastern part of the world actually had to go through this quite early on, maybe at least 1 month ago. And if we would have had the ability for WhatsApp messages to curb this kind of spreading earlier, then the misinformation that went around could have been not as bad. Zoom not allowed among Taiwan government. All government agencies are now barred from using Zoom due to security and privacy concerns. Before the COVID pandemic, Zoom was an app known by very few and preferred only by startups due to its attractive free model. Like I said, right, you can run up to 40 minutes at a time to like, I don't know how many people, maybe even up to 100 people. I don't remember what was it, but you can do it for free. So that was the reason why some few selected people like to use Zoom. But suddenly they shot to suddenly they shot to stardom because, hold on. I'm afraid that having collar also is not that good, right? Suddenly they shot to stardom, and every business and private household is actually using it. But Zoom was never an enterprise platform they said they were. It was just one of those small ones that, people use when it's free. Very few enterprise level securities were actually in place from the very beginning, which people are just now noticing because they have reached a point where everybody's using. A lot of people are kind of like indirectly stress testing their capability. And the lack of fundamental security flaws allowed users to do things like take over screen shares and enter a room without a password. There's also been talks that end-to-end encryption isn't even real. I mean, I just used Zoom this morning because clients want to use Zoom, and there is an end-to-end encryption icon there, but they say that it's not even proper end-to-end encryption, so I don't even know what it is. Next up, we should stop using Zoom as well. A quick Google on Zoom security problem will return very, very worrying headlines. The Guardian calls it potential malware. It is a malware. It is not a software with flaws. It has become a malware. It's no good. Wired says hackers can access cameras via the app. US schools are planning to ban the app altogether after an incident involving the hijacking of screen share features to share porn to kids. The company has come up with a lot of apologetic articles, but apply and also apply a lot of patches. But somehow or other, there's always some new worm that keeps squirming out of the can, and they never heard of it. So it's actually quite bad PR for Zoom. The Star Malaysia has also just recently reported that thousands of video recordings were exposed online. So these could be financial reports. These could be financial meetings or health, medical stuff that contain a lot of sensitive data. And if you are especially in these industries, please do not use Zoom. Cisco has a free 6 months. Microsoft Teams has free 6 months, and I know that Microsoft Teams has a very high, numerous hoops to jump through, because in order to use Teams, you need to have Office 360. But Office 360 is also now free for 6 months. So what you need to do is actually sign up for Office 360 and then sign up for Teams and download Teams. But you can just go to Cisco and download the Cisco one just for free, and you can use it immediately off the bat, 6 months. And Cisco is very, very powerful. It may not be as easy to use as Zoom, so spend some time to get used to it, but it's actually very good. Google donated $6.5 million to help fight misinformation. This money can be used to help fact-checking organizations. It's used to help fact-checking organizations to fight COVID-19 misinformation across the world. Some of the craziest claims are that COVID is transmitted via 5G network. In the UK, people have been burning down 5G towers. Washing hands is a propaganda from soap companies. Reading the Bible and the Quran can make a person immune to the virus, and various more. You can drink hot water and you can kill the virus as well. Not real. Next up, social media's location tracking capabilities may be a problem for us. Social media platforms have been actively helping organizations and authorities curb the spread of COVID by providing our location data. So a lot of parts of the world, we have been they've been giving authorities our actual physical location to track where we go, what we do at any given time. It's actually good, but can also be very bad. It's understandable that under dire circumstances, we should not complain about our data being given away to save lives. But is there even a guarantee that this will not stop once the pandemic is under control? I mean, right? We will not ask for permission for this to happen. And I doubt we will be asked for permission when this COVID thing has passed, because everybody has gotten so used to tracking our information, and we are so used to giving our information and feel as if that we don't have any repercussions on our side. We'll be like, you know what? But it's not. It's not right to do this. It's not right for any authorities to be able to track where we go and what we do. Not because they can misuse it, but maybe because, number one, they might sell it away. Number two, they might work with certain organizations to monetize it. And number three, even worse, they may have bad security, and if it gets hacked, it gets out. And if it gets out, it's not good for us. So that is a problem as well. Alright, so that's all for this week's news. Social Media Weekly this week. Social Media Weekly podcast available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Social Media Weekly episode 8, April 2020. My name is Sean. Au revoir.